Welcome everybody to Go Local Live. I'm Josh Fenton, CEO and co-founder. It's a busy day in Rhode Island, a lot of things breaking. We expect a big announcement from Governor Raimondo at 1 o'clock on her weekly press briefing related to the coronavirus. 2 o'clock, Dr. Michael Fine, former Director of Health, will be joining us to give his assessment of the recent announcements. But let's go across town. We're going to go over to Marc Crisafulli. He is the guy at Bally's. We know it as Twin River, but it is being rebranded as we know it. Marc, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Josh. Happy to be here.
Another big announcement from your corporation. This one is a kind of half old school, half tech play. You picked up Bet.Works for $125 million in cash and stock. Talk about the strategic acquisition and how it plays into all the things you're doing over at the corporation.
Oh, happy to do, Josh. So let's just take a step back for a minute. 2 years ago, we were 4 casinos in 3 states, and we embarked on this kind of aggressive growth plan around the country. So by this time next year, we'll have 14 casinos in 10 states. So we're building a really nice national profile. Then we said, all right, how is it that we bring all of these properties together? We went out and acquired the Bally brand. We have 14 million players in our databases for all these properties. We said, all right, so now we've got a brand to unify and we give them a single player rewards card. What's the next thing that we need to do? Well, it's sports betting, right? Sports betting is exploding nationally. It's a market that could be $12 billion by 2025, could be $50 billion by maturity. And so we figured we want to really participate in that market. And rather than participating by doing a series of partnerships with all these other companies that you need to be able to deliver an integrated sports betting offering, we figured let's go out, acquire the technology ourselves, and then we can control it. We can kind of be a unified omni-channel company that delivers that. So we acquired Bet.Works, subject to regulatory approvals. This gives us our own technology, our own sports book, our ability to do everything for ourselves.
Okay, so let's talk about it. We all know sports books from the movie Casino, and it was fairly rudimentary picking of games. This is a tech play. This is, David Yang and his team over there. There's not a lot of head count over there. There's a lot of technology. Talk about they're in 4 states now. Talk about how this plays out across Bally's nationally.
Yeah, so Bet.Works, it's an exciting company. David Wang has done a really great job building up the technology. They've invested over $100 million to build it. And you're right, this is serious, sophisticated technology. They're a B2B right now. So they provide the full suite of sports betting and online gaming technology to other companies. So they're in 4 states now. They're going to add another 11. So they'll be within 15 states on the B2B side, okay? Our sports betting is a B2C. We want to sign up consumers to actually place the bets. We need technology to do it. Instead of us partnering with someone, we'll now use their technology. But there's so much work to be done here, Josh, that as they're going to continue on a kind of a rapid hiring spree to bring in more developers to support our demand. And we want to bring that back to Rhode Island. We're a Rhode Island company. Even though we're publicly traded, listed on the New York Stock Exchange, this is our home. So we'll be opening a technology development center for the Bet.Works, which will become Bally's Interactive in Rhode Island, and we're going to start with 25 employees by the end of next year.
That's great. Jay Rude had gone from MGM over to Bet.Works. How important was that in their maturation as a company, strategically, in your comfort level with acquiring them?
We're very comfortable with Jay. I mean, he's a Hall of Fame member on the sports betting side. He runs the sports book. That's one of the things we're acquiring. Like, when you go in and acquire a technology company, you're acquiring the technology as it stands that day, and you're acquiring the people that can bring you forward into the future. We're excited about the technology. We're beyond thrilled with the team that we're getting.
Marc, talk a little bit about, I joked with you before we came on air, somebody needs to take the credit card away. You've been on a buying spree, $750, $800 million worth of acquisitions in the last 16 months or so. What does that mean for Bally's? What does it mean for Rhode Island?
So it's exciting for Bally's. We're building up this national portfolio, and we're doing it smartly and carefully. We went into this with one of the best balance sheets in the industry. We have a low leverage. We really try and be smart and thoughtful about how we implement this strategy. We've been disciplined, but we're building out the portfolio. and we're doing it smartly. We're using some debt. We had a lot of cash. We have some access to capital. We've also started a new process with our largest acquisition, which is the Tropicana Evansville in Indiana, where we're going to use a sale leaseback transaction. So it's not our capital that's going in. We tap into our real estate market, our real estate portfolio to get access to buy that. But it's a different profile for us. It doesn't require us to take on additional debt. The other thing is with some of these deals, like in Bet.Works, you'll see we're starting to use equity, right? So we're trying to be really thoughtful about how it is that we make this work. We will come out of this continuing to have one of the best balance sheets in the industry. And as difficult as COVID has been, it has provided us with some buying opportunities at attractive pricing that allows the overall portfolio to have a better long-term value proposition.
Marc, when you started this process, let's take Twin River facilities out of the mix. How many people did you have in corporate, in the corporate model, and where do you think you'll be in Rhode Island in the number of employees working for the corporate entity?
So it was below 30 at the corporate entity. Right now it's probably above 60 and continuing to grow. And these are great new executive level positions that we're bringing on. You know, our plan is to have a long-term partnership with the state here. We're very excited for the legislature to come back next year and resume normal sessions and hopefully approve the joint IGT Twin River deal that has us investing over $100 million back into the state and really growing our corporate headquarters here. We want to continue to grow here. I mean, it's important to us. You know, I'm a Pawtucket kid. The management team here grew up in Rhode Island with Twin River, and we want to make this our home for as long as we can.
Marc, you, I'm sure, talk to Speaker-elect Joe Cicarci on a regular basis. I know I do. Are we sure we're coming back based on the coronavirus in early 2021?
It's impossible to predict anything. It is just the most unbelievable environment circumstance, and it's taxing politically, it's taxing socially, personally, professionally, in every way. It's just such a difficult environment. I can't say enough how much I hope professionally and personally that the vaccines come along and we can find some way getting back to normal, because it's hard. It's hard for everybody.
Well, listen, we featured you earlier this week in a series of entrepreneurs, whether they're in the corporate world like yourself or startups like Anthony Sanders, who's got an apparel company, or today Josh Short over at the Wilbury Theater, talking about how they've attacked this period of change. In each of these cases, listen, all three of you have demonstrated we're not waiting for this thing to determine our future. We're going to determine our future. And I think it's a great lesson to anybody in business trying to deal with the complexity of this, those running a nonprofit. This is an opportunity, a tremendous change to be able to move forward and redefine your own future during this period. And obviously you guys have as well. Any lessons you have to sort of share with folks who, listen, we talk to them, I'm sure you do, you've got vendors who are struggling because of what's going on. You've got employees who have been laid off. How do you manage this, and what lessons do you have for them?
You know, it's really hard to come up with broad-based messages around this. I mean, I would say the lessons that we've learned are stick to your principles, your founding guidelines. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? Try and keep a long-term focus and just communicate as openly and as honestly as you can with your people, your partners, your stakeholders, and everyone involved. And that's all you can do. You have to readjust to the short term, but you have to keep your focus on the long term. Otherwise, you get swallowed up by the short term and you can get lost very quickly.
Yeah, and none of us know what the long term is or even the short term is as we proceed in business. Marc Crisafulli, thanks so much. Congratulations on the acquisition of Bet.Works and all the business development you've been doing over the past 18 months. For everybody else, stay tuned. Major announcement from Governor Raimondo at 1 p.m., followed on by Dr. Michael Fine with analysis of that at 2 p.m. Will be a busy day here in Rhode Island. Stay tuned for more updates at GoLocal Live. Thanks, everybody. Stay safe. Save a job, save a business. Wear your mask.